Man, this final season just says everything, from Commonwealth to Maggie versus Negan to the Reapers. I mean, this is The Walking Dead after all. If this is going to be an epic final season, it's got to be some epic horse deaths in there too, I guess.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of the final season, Walking Dead Season 11. This is for episode 3, titled Hunted.
Things change. We need to rethink your plan.
The plan doesn't change.
Walls are about to fail.
I thought you were a man of God.
God isn't here anymore.
Okay guys, so it's going to be doing a review for today. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today. This one is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 11. This is going to be for Season 11, Episode 3, which is titled Hunted. So, alright guys, Episode 3 of The Walking Dead Season 11, Season 11 of The Walking Dead, going on strong with another episode, and man oh man. So, Season 11 so far has been quite literally an epic final season so far. Continuing that with this episode, really like this one a lot, as we got to see a lot of just great stuff with the Reapers, with, Carol and Magnus group, with, even Judith, Negan and Maggie. We just saw a lot of, really good stuff in this one. So, okay. This week's episode, I don't think is as good as last week's episode, or episode 1 for that matter. I do see this one as, probably like, it's a good episode. I just don't think it's as good as the last few. However, one advantage this episode have that the other episodes don't have, if you ask me, is the cinematography. And yes, the cinematography is really good in episode 1 and 2. However, some of the shots and some of the wide shots and some of the way, like, whoever the hell directed this episode, I gotta give them credit because it visually looked amazing. Like, honestly, looked absolutely amazing. So, alright, now let's talk about the Reapers first, since that is the first thing we see in this week's episode. So, man, we see a hell of an attack at the beginning of this episode. As you see Gabriel get sliced in the neck, you see Daryl, get, pinned down, and we actually don't even see Daryl past that opening scene, which is pretty crazy. We got Duncan that gets hurt, we get Elijah that goes missing, we get Cole that gets his damn throat slit, so Cole is dead, and it's just like this all-out insanity, and basically by the end of it, Maggie is on her own, and she's being hunted, right? So that's kind of, where the episode title kind of comes in. So, Cole's dead. I mean, damn, so obviously that character is someone that I kind of thought would go on for a bit longer, so definitely when I saw him just get his throat slit right away at the beginning of the episode, I was like, holy frick, give me a second to get into this here, Jesus. I literally watched the episode for about 20 seconds, and, people are getting killed left, right, and center. I'm like, holy crap. I'm gonna give it credit. This was, you got your attention, within, 10 seconds. You were like, okay, what the hell's going on? So, love those kind of opening scenes. Love that. Just love that. And the Reapers were scary as hell. Now, okay. Now, obviously, the predictions we kind of made this week were unfortunately right. After the intro, we don't see a follow-up. It's, then the aftermath. Kind of almost like Season 10, Episode 12 of Walking Dead, where, you see the battle at the beginning, and then after that, you kind of get, the aftermath, which is all fine and dandy, but, definitely, I do kind of think we could have seen more, but again, it is what it is. Now, in terms of seeing more, that's another thing. Daryl is not in the rest of this episode. We know that in 4, he's going to be in it, but for this one, yeah, he's only there for the fight, and then he's, basically gone. So, we get to see, let's talk about Gabriel first. So, Gabriel runs into, as he, kind of is struggling after the fight, he, kind of pulls the knife out of his leg and stuff, and he runs into a Reaper, which obviously was, really cool, and he basically murders him, and has basically no mercy, which is really crazy on his part, as he kind of is, oh, God isn't here anymore, and he just does it, so that was pretty crazy stuff right there. Now, basically, Maggie is being hunted. She goes into this, abandoned mall, and we get to see some Reapers that are hunting her, and that scene where you see a Reaper behind her, and then she, has to, kind of fight back, and she pushes him off the railing and stuff, and he goes down. Man, I mean, honestly, some of the fight scenes here were really, really cool with Maggie. Really like that a lot. And then obviously she runs into Alden, then she gets jumped by another one, and we kind of get like this explosion that, ends up happening as Negan saves Maggie's life, and then they also, both of them, have to save Alden's life, right? So, Negan is not really alright with this plan, as we can kind of see, but, it is what it is. They kind of have to do it anyway. And basically, we get to see Duncan. Now, all right, let's talk about this here. So they're helping Alden, and they're kind of taking him back, of course. And basically, you're kind of wondering, like, is Alden going to be okay? And that's kind of the big question. But basically, we get to see that Duncan is not going to make it. That's definitely something that we noticed in this one. Duncan is not going to survive, and that, they need to kind of get him out of there, but it's just not going to work, And essentially, yeah, Duncan dies in this episode, which I was just like, frick, man, honestly. So, Cole's death I saw coming. I'm going to be honest, I kind of saw that coming. However, Duncan's death, that one was crazy to me. However, I will say, and I have to say this because everybody probably knows this, yes, unfortunately, I did know about Duncan's death, I did know about Cole's death, and I also knew about Agatha's death. I knew about all of those, unfortunately. Agatha's death, however, was a lot more gruesome than I thought it was going to be, but either way, a lot of Maggie's people were murdered this episode, but it was really, really sad when you have to see, Maggie, like, has to put Duncan down, and just kind of a, quiet kind of scene as he asks Maggie to protect Agatha, I'm pretty sure, right? And it's like, man, like, it's pretty crazy when he says that, because then you cut to later in the episode, and, you kind of got, like, some of the scenes where you got Negan and Maggie that are talking, and Maggie's like, you think you could fit in and this and that, they'll never forgive you for what you did. You think you're part of our group, but you never will be, Negan, and stuff. I'm just like, shut up, Maggie. Honestly, shut the hell up. God, I've had enough of her, honestly. Like, the more and more the episodes go on, man, I don't care how helpful she was this episode. When she talks to Negan like that, I'm like, oh my God, don't get me started. So, anyway, that crap pissed me off as usual. Week to week, that stuff always pisses me off. But basically, we get to see Agatha. So let's talk about that one now. She gets, unfortunately, devoured in this one, and Maggie is kind of trying to save her, and unfortunately, she's bit, and she's getting eaten alive, so it's too late. As we see them fighting a big group of the dead, and basically Negan kind of has to hold Maggie back. So, that scene in the trailer that we were wondering, that's Agatha's death, as Negan is holding Maggie back to try to protect her almost from getting herself killed for trying to protect Agatha and trying to save Agatha, right? So, pretty crazy. I'm gonna be honest, that was a crazy scene, and super brutal as she just gets devoured and Maggie has to kind of just, basically kind of just let her go, And it's, and I always like bringing this up every week. The callback for this week, the thing that was kind of the big callback, is the fact that we got to see, Maggie being held back, and in the season 8 finale, going back a couple seasons now, in the season 8 finale, Michonne held Maggie back from her trying to kill Negan. Well, now, Negan's holding her back from trying to save somebody else. It's kind of cool how they're doing these callbacks every episode. Every episode in season 11 at least has a callback or two, which I think is really, really cool for sure. So, basically, alright, now let's talk about Alden in this one. So, alright, this is one flaw with the episode I do have. They basically decide in this one, as, Maggie's kind of blaming Negan and just doing her same old crap, they decide to leave Alden, and basically just leave him inside of this house or whatever, and they kind of just decide to walk off, as if, like, they don't know if he's gonna make it or something like that. And they kind of, like, try to pull, like, oh, is Alden gonna make it in this one? He's fine. I don't think they would kill Alden like that. I would be honestly shocked if they did. But again, it is the final season, so I'll give them that. And there is no footage of Alden from what I remember in the trailer going forward. So there's more of a reason to be on the edge of our seat this time than it was for Maggie. But again, I don't see Alden dying like that. I just don't see it. So that, to me, just kind of had no tension. And that's basically the end of the episode, is actually that scene. So, a little bit of a weak ending for the episode, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big fan of the Alden leaving Alden, just stuff. I'm not a big fan of it. Now, we also get to see Alexandria in this episode. We get to see Magnus Group as we see them basically kind of struggling to find food for Alexandria, you know? And basically we get Aaron and Carol, who basically kind of talk a little bit about, you know, kind of catching the horses, because otherwise people are going to starve to death. And, you know, Aaron talks about how, like, you know, this place is falling apart, the walls are going to fail, it's not, you know, probably not a good idea and stuff. And Carol's like, well, I'm doing this so, you know, we can, you know, eat, and we can, you know, be, you know, keep our strength up to actually, you know, keep this place around for as long as we possibly can, you know. And, you know, I really like in this one, and this is another callback they did in this this episode, is when they talk about horses, you actually have Aaron that mentions how him and Daryl were trying to catch Buttons and how it didn't end well for Buttons. If you guys remember Buttons, way back in season 5, episode 13, when Daryl and Aaron were trying to basically catch Buttons and bring him back, and he got devoured by walkers pretty much. So kind of a cool callback there as well too. But basically we've got the group that goes out. We got Carol, we've got Magna, Kelly, and Rosita. Now, Rosita in this one tells a very interesting story about how she's actually been having some dreams about Abraham, and how basically Abraham is kind of, you know, he wants to tell her something, you know, and it seems like every time he tries to, she gets I believe it's Abraham. He gets shot in the head, and Rosita can't know what he wants to ask her and stuff. So, pretty interesting. Definitely very interesting. I just wish that Michael Cudlitz could come back to, like, act out some scenes or something. That'd be really cool. I know it's a dream sequence, and I know that, like, you know, it's not real life. It's just in Rosita's head, but it would still be cool to see Michael Cudlitz actually reprise his role for a final season episode. Yeah, that would be pretty freaking sick if they could actually get that. So, they get the horses, they bring them back, you know, they kind of trap them in, and then they, you know, bring them back to Alexandria, and we basically have Carol that kills one in order to feed the community, which is pretty brutal. So, Walking Dead, bro, always killing horses, man, always killing horses. So, all the time, man, it's crazy. But honestly, you know, it's a sad situation. But even Judith, you know, she didn't want to eat the horse, but, you know, they have kind of no choice. They are all starving, and they're trying to keep their strength up. So it is pretty sad, but at the same time, I understand why they did it. Absolutely, you know, you can't really blame them. You know, they kind of have no choice. They're running low on food, and they got to keep their strength up somehow. So, you know, it definitely makes sense there. And basically, the last kind of storyline in this one that we get is Judith and the kids, which is, again, just kind of blended in, just kind of some more Alexandria stuff. They talk about their parents and how sometimes they lie about coming back, you know, which I thought was pretty interesting, like Michonne and stuff. And it's like, nah, it's because Denai Guerrero had a contract, and, you know, she wrapped up, and she, you know, went off the show. But no, that's you know, that's why, Judith. But anyway, so we'll have to see again if we see anything of Michonne. I highly doubt it, but again, we'll have to see if we get anything at all this season. I would be more so betting on no, but again, you know, we'll just have to see what kind of comes of that. So, okay, this episode overall, The Walking Dead Season 11, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Maggie and Negan stuff. Once again, Maggie pisses me off, but Negan was great as always. Alden, I do think he's safe. I definitely think he's going to make it. I really enjoyed the Reaper's attack in this one. Gabriel was an absolute badass. Daryl, of course, we'll have to see in 4 how that kind of goes for him, because it looks like we're going to be meeting Pope next week, which is going to be really freaking crazy. So we'll see how that goes. And overall, just as, you know, kind of an episode, I'm just kind of trying to think here. I think this is going to be a solid 9 out of 10. You know, I think the cinematography is great. The action scenes are great. Even the Magna and Kelly and, you know, Carol and Rosita stuff, I kind of expect it to be pretty minor and pretty boring, but they actually remixed it a lot, you know, with, you know, kind of the realism there of, you know, the community starving and stuff like that. I really like it. The visuals were good, you know, talking about Abraham, you know, kind of referencing some stuff. I thought it actually was really good, surprisingly. So definitely really, really cool stuff. Really enjoyed the episode. And I think even though it's not 1 or 2 quality, I do think that this episode has the one advantage that 1 and 2 don't have, which is just visually, you know, out in the world more, you know, not in a subway tunnel, you know, you're out in the world, you're exploring, nice, you know, colors. It's just, I don't know, the episode visually was very, very good to see, you know, to actually watch, you know. That's the one thing this episode honestly really, really did well, as well as a lot of, you know, great stuff. And I guess rest in peace to, like, most of Maggie's squad. Holy frig. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with Elijah. We know he's not dead. And we know that, you know, I believe, holy crap, is Elijah the only one left? Holy frig, man. That's crazy, because until I see Elijah, I'm going to say he's alive, you know, because I didn't see him die. So, anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode. Write your comments in the comment section below. And, of course, guys, if you're new here, click to subscribe and tune in to my Walking Dead videos. Fun and Walking Dead videos, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another Walking Dead video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?